Hi, this is Miss Cindy from the Crown Point Community Library, and today I'm going to be bringing the library into your home with some candy science. So you guys may not know this, but on September 13th, that is Roald Dahl's birthday. And if you don't know who Roald Dahl is, you probably have heard his name or you've heard of things that he wrote, because he is a very popular author, and he's most well known for writing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So if you haven't read the book, you may have seen the movie, you may have heard of it. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to read a little bit of this book, and then I'm going to show you some different science experiments that you can do at home with candy. So let's get started. This is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl. The chocolate room. An important room this, cried Mr. Wonka, taking a bunch of keys from his pocket and slipping one of them into the keyhole of the door. This is the nerve center of the whole factory, the heart of the whole business, and so beautiful. I insist upon my rooms being beautiful. I can't abide in ugliness. In we go then, but do be careful, my dear children. Don't lose your heads. Don't get overexcited. Keep very calm. Mr. Wonka opened the door. 5 children and 9 grown-ups pushed their ways in, and what an amazing sight it was that now met their eyes. They were looking down upon a lovely valley. There were green meadows on either side of the valley, and along the bottom of it there flowed a great brown river. What is more, there was a tremendous waterfall halfway along the river, a steep cliff over which the water curled and rolled in a solid sheet, and then went crashing down into a boiling, churning whirlpool of froth and spray. Below the waterfall, and this was the most astonishing sight of all, a whole mass of enormous glass pipes were dangling down into the river from somewhere high up in the ceiling. They were really enormous, those pipes. There must have been a dozen of them at least, and they were sucking up the brownish, muddy water from the river and carrying it away to goodness knows where. And because they were made of glass, you could see the liquid flowing and bubbling along inside them, and above the noise of the waterfall, you could hear the never-ending sucking sound of pipes as they did their work. Graceful trees and bushes were growing along the river banks, weeping willows and alders and tall clumps of rhododendrons with their pink and red and mauve blossoms, and in the meadows there were thousands of buttercups. There, cried Mr. Wonka, dancing up and down, pointing his gold-topped cane at the great brown river. It's all chocolate. Every drop of that river is hot melted chocolate of the finest quality, the very finest quality. There's enough chocolate in there to fill every bathtub in the entire country, and all the swimming pools as well. Isn't it terrific? And just look at my pipes. They suck up the chocolate and carry it away to all the other rooms in the factory where it is needed. Thousands of gallons an hour, my dear children. Thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons of chocolate. So that is from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You probably know the story. It's about where Charlie gets one of the golden tickets and he gets to go and see the chocolate factory. He's one of the lucky children, and it's all about his adventures and what happens to him there. And you can tell this book is pretty beat up, which is always a sign that it's a good book, because it means it gets checked out a lot and a lot of people are enjoying it. So Roald Dahl has written a lot of other books. If you read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, there's also Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, which is a sequel to this book. And then he has other books that he's written also that you've probably heard of: James and the Giant Peach, Matilda, The Witches. There's so many. The BFG. A lot of them have been made into movies because they're a lot of fun. So on September 13th, we're going to be celebrating his birthday. And in honor of his birthday, we are going to do a little bit of candy science. So hopefully you came by the library and you picked up one of these bags. If you did not, I'm going to go through some of the experiments, and you can get all these things and try some of this stuff out at home. So what's inside your bag? So inside your bag, you will find, this is kind of like your recipe card. So you'll notice there's 4 different science activities that you can do with the candy that's in your bag. I'm going to tell you about each one of those. right now, and then we're going to try one out together, and then you can do the rest at home. All right, so what are our activities? Well, one is Gummy Bear Osmosis. And osmosis is the process when water passes through one membrane into an object, and the object has to have a permeable membrane. It's kind of like, have you ever dyed an Easter egg, and when you're peeling the egg later, you'll notice that some of the color went through? That's because an eggshell is actually a permeable membrane, and some of that dye got through the membrane. So we're going to find out if these little gummy bears have a permeable membrane and if water can pass through. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to, so you have a small bag of little gummy bears. You're going to take them out. You're going to measure them, so you will need a ruler. So you'll measure your gummy bear and see what size he is. And then you're going to take him and you're going to put some water into a container. And you're going to drop your gummy bear in, and we're just going to let that sit. So I'm going to put that one over here to sit for a little bit until later we'll pull it back out and we'll see. Now you can do some other stuff. So you're going to use a timer so you can kind of keep track of how much time he's in there, and we want to see if his size is going to change. You can also, like if you notice here, I've got multiple beakers or test tubes, so you could try different things. Like, would it change if he's in water? What if he was in vinegar? What if we put him in milk? So we could try different, what about lemon juice? Or what about soda or pop? So you could try different things and see. And if you don't have these little test tubes, you can just use glasses, or you can use plastic cups. It doesn't even have to be something see-through really for this, because we're going to take it out. Okay, so that's our Gummy Bear Osmosis. What is the next one? Dissolving lollipops. So in your bag, you will also have a couple lollipops. What you're going to do is you're going to need 2 cups of water, and what you'll do for these is one of your cups of water is going to be hot, so you're going to need an adult to help you with that. So you can either just get your tap water as hot as you can get it, like turn on your faucet and see how hot you can get the water. You could make the water a little bit hotter. You could put it into the microwave. Be careful because your cup might get hot. Or you could even heat it up on the stove. Again, you'll need your grown-up to help you with that. So you're going to put the hot water in 1 cup, and in the other cup you're going to put ice water. Unwrap your lollipops, pop them in, set a timer for 5 minutes, and then after the timer goes off, you're going to take them out and see if one of them dissolved more than another. Does the temperature of water affect how quickly the lollipop dissolves? All right, then you're going to have some random candy in this bag, and it could be whatever, just depends on what we had. So this one, there's some Starburst, there's a Heath bar. For that, we're going to do some sinking and floating experiments. That's where you're going to put them into water, and you're going to see if they sink and float. And then you're going to see if you can alter it. So if it's sunk, is there a way that we can make it so it would float? Or if it floats, is there a way that we could change it so that it sinks? So you're going to have to kind of think about that one and think of, there's lots of different ways that you can play around with that, different options. So you can try that with several different candies. All right, and then finally, our last one on here is to create a Skittles Rainbow. So for that, in your bag, you have a bag of Skittles, and what we're going to do is you're going to need a plate to make your Skittles Rainbow. The plate does need to be a little bit shallow so that when I pour water in there, the water will sit down, so that so it doesn't run over the sides, okay? Because it is a plate. So what do we do for this one? You're going to begin by taking your Skittles and putting them in a circle around your plate. Depending on how many Skittles you have in your bag will depend on how many you'll use or how big of the circle. So if I want my circle to be smaller, I can just move it in a little bit. So I'm doing mine, and you've got to play around with it. I'm doing mine with doing 2 colors side by side, but you don't have to do it that way. You can decide the pattern, how you want to do it. All right, so you can see I've created a circle of Skittles. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pour water into my dish. So I'm going to pour the water in. I want the water to come right up to the edge so it's touching the Skittles, but I don't want it to go beyond them, right? And that is important because we're going to watch what happens, but I want to make sure that I stop the water right when it gets to my Skittles. I really don't want them to be sitting in the water around the edges, okay? So once you do this, it is going to have to sit. We're going to watch it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and we're going to see what happens. So how cool was that? The way all the colors, how they kept their separateness, they didn't blend together. You can then take a toothpick and kind of swirl it, but what a cool science experiment. So enjoy your bags. So stop by the library, get one of your candy bags, and then you can also always buy some of these candies, or if you get them for Halloween, save your science recipe cards and try out some of your own. Oh, I almost forgot. Our gummy bear. Well, you can already see that our gummy bear has changed. Let's see if I can get him out. All right, there he is. So look at our gummy bear. I'm going to put him next to a yellow one to make it easier to see. But that hasn't even been that long, and you can already see how he has grown. He has gotten bigger. That gummy bear has changed. So try that one out at home too. You can put it back in, leave them for a little bit longer and see what happens. Like I said, you can try with different liquids and see if that makes any difference also. So have a really good time doing your candy science. Stop by the library, pick out a Roald Dahl book, and have a good time reading it, and just enjoy some of his fun humor that he has. Feel free to stop by our library website, crownpointlibrary.org, and check out more ideas, resources, and see what's going on. Take care and have a great day.